South Africa's anti-migrant tensions have exploded into violence, leaving 2 Mozambicans dead and hundreds fleeing for their lives. Tensions soared after a citizen-led group opposed to irregular migration last month ordered all undocumented foreign nationals to leave by June 30th. And now President Cyril Ramaphosa has reacted, although many across the continent say it's too little, too late. Well, you be the judge of that. Here is our cover report. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa moved to defuse growing anti-immigrant tensions with a speech on national television. The country has seen weeks of protests and violent attacks amid calls for a crackdown on immigration.
We will not be fooled or influenced by social media campaigns that spread misinformation, fake news, and lies about people who are in our country. We must be concerned that anti-foreigner sentiment is at times accompanied by tribal and ethnic slurs, insults and attacks aimed at other South Africans. This is not acceptable.
Anti-immigrant groups say foreign nationals in South Africa illegally are exacerbating the country's high unemployment and putting pressure on public health and education services. But Ramaphosa said illegal immigration is not the cause of all the country's economic challenges.
There are other causes. The answer must be faster economic growth, greater investment, industrial expansion, infrastructure development, and the creation of millions of new jobs.
South Africa's coalition government placed a new focus on the issue of immigration after it was formed in 2024 and says it has deported over 100,000 people in the last 2 years who are in the country illegally. Ramaphosa says there had been weaknesses in the way South Africa has managed migration and promised the government would take decisive action now. However, hundreds of protesters against illegal immigration gathered in the township outside Johannesburg a day after South African President Cyril Ramaphosa pledged action against groups accused of fueling xenophobic violence.
We are not happy with the speech because it's not direct and it's not sincere, but we respect him as a leader and we hope as we go he will deliver another speech that is directed to the problems that people have.
Enough is enough. We want our country back. We are not at all xenophobic. It's unfortunate because now we are misinterpreted around the world. We are not xenophobic.
Anti-migrant protest groups have said they have set a June 30th deadline for foreign nationals who are in South Africa illegally to leave and have requested talks with the government. Ghana has already repatriated around 300 of its nationals and says more will be offered the chance to return home because of what it called threats against them. A number of other countries, including Nigeria and Malawi, have announced they will repatriate their citizens. Mozambique's government said that 5 of its citizens were killed in what it referred to as xenophobic attacks in the town of Mossel Bay on South Africa's south coast. South Africa has a history of violence against migrants, including in 2008, when more than 60 people were killed. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One. Last month, the relationship between Senegal's president and prime minister, which began as a genuine political partnership, ruptured when President Bassirou Diomaye Faye dismissed his former ally, Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko, over their differing approaches to dealing with the country's debt. The rupture has exposed deeper tensions between pragmatic governance and reformist and anti-establishment populism, and has left the country with 2 openly competing centers of power at a critical moment.
The Speaker of Senegal's parliament, Ousmane Sonko, a powerful mentor turned rival to President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, won re-election as head of their party amid a political crisis sparked by their falling out. Sonko, who was sacked as Faye's prime minister last month, easily won a leadership vote at a congress of their Pan-Africanist PASTEF party in Diamniadio, outside the capital Dakar, according to a text read out at the gathering. PASTEF said Sonko had unanimously won a vote of 583 party delegates.
First of all, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the renewed trust you have placed in me by re-electing me as president of our party. I am fully aware of the weight of this responsibility, as PASTEF is no ordinary party in the Senegalese political landscape, in the African political landscape, and indeed in the global perception. Our revolution is currently under threat precisely because of these external interventions. Not everything that is happening in Senegal at the moment is solely down to internal factors. I will return to this in greater detail later on.
Faye won the presidency after widely popular Sonko was barred from standing in Senegal's 2024 election. Sonko anointed Faye to run in his place, then served as his premier. But after months of mounting tension between them, Faye dismissed Sonko as prime minister on May 22nd. 4 days later, Sonko won election to his current post as Speaker of the National Assembly. The rift has triggered political upheaval for the heavily indebted West African country and uncertainty for their party, the biggest in parliament. Faye urged against further dividing the nation. Tensions emerged in July 2025 when the then Prime Minister sharply attacked Faye, alleging a problem of authority in the country. In May, the president took a shot at Sonko, saying the party needed to be depersonalized from any leader dominating it. The two had disagreed on how to tackle Senegal's debt. Faye is open to discussions with the International Monetary Fund on a new loan program, while Sonko advocated a sovereign approach.
We spoke, and he, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, expressed his wish to put an end to our collaboration, as he felt that a number of positions I had taken recently made him uncomfortable and were causing problems. Forming the government was very tricky. Right up until the last minute, they were phoning people left, right and center, without even having time to check their profiles, in order to offer ministerial portfolios all over the place. Running a country is serious. A government is serious. I get the impression that President Bassirou Diomaye Faye doesn't know what a government is. You don't form a government under those conditions.
Local elections are scheduled for 2027, ahead of a presidential election in 2029. While PASTEF's majority in the National Assembly can censure the government, from November following 2 years in office, Faye will also be authorized to dissolve the parliament to try to secure a new majority.
A new survey has found that 85% of Ghanaians are dissatisfied with the government's position on LGBTQ+ issues, highlighting growing public discontent over one of the country's most debated social and political topics. The findings, released by Africa Policy Lens, suggest that the government's handling of LGBTQ+ matters has not aligned with the expectations of a significant portion of the population, potentially increasing pressure on policymakers.
That Africa is a strong continent.
Ghana's new bill criminalizing LGBTQ+ activities will undergo scrutiny before it is officially approved. Speaking during a visit to the UK, President John Mahama said that his legal counsel and Attorney General would sit on it because it was a private member's motion and not a government bill. The bill passed by Parliament proposes up to 3 years imprisonment for identifying as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender or queer, and a duty to report prohibited acts to the police. It is the second time that such legislation has been backed by lawmakers. A similar bill was first introduced to Parliament in August 2021, after an LGBTQ+ resources centre was shut down in the capital. Mahama's predecessor, former President Nana Akufo-Addo, failed to give his assent to that version of the bill before leaving office last year. When it passed in the year 2024, it was challenged by multiple lawsuits at the Supreme Court, which Akufo-Addo used as a reason for not approving it. The bill was reintroduced in Parliament this year by a cross-party group of MPs.
Honourable members, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 is duly read for the third time and passed.
And once the judge proclaimed that, the streets of the capital, Accra, were alive and vibrant. Dozens of protesters marched to oppose Ghana's recently approved anti-LGBTQ bill, carrying placards reading "Love defines family, nothing else," and celebrating all Ghanaian families in our diversity. The demonstration came 1 week after Ghana's parliament approved legislation criminalizing the promotion, funding or sponsorship of LGBTQ activities. It also coincided with the closing day of the 4th African Inter-Parliamentary Conference in Accra, where lawmakers from across the continent adopted the African Charter on Family, Sovereignty and Values.
In the bill in Ghana, there is a part that requires families to report when they see that a family member may be queer or gay or lesbian or whatever it may be, and we don't think that that supports a family that we know. Our family protects, our family cures, our family helps people to grow in their true identity for whoever they are. So we believe that that bill will go against the true essence of family in our continent and in Ghana.
Everybody is human, and every human being comes from a family. Everybody is part of our family. We do not discriminate in our families. We love all our loved ones. We hold them very close. We all want our children to go out and come home safe. Nobody is praying for their child to go out there and die. That's what we are celebrating today, the solidarity of family, the differences in all the families that we have, not just the one mother, one father, 2.5 babies.
The legislation is part of a broader push across parts of West Africa to tighten restrictions on sexual minorities.
We believe that anything that harms any group of people is wrong. So any bill, any law across the continent that seems to restrict the rights of anybody is wrong. So the bill that is passed in Ghana is also wrong, and we don't subscribe to it.
Ghana joins countries including Senegal and Burkina Faso that have strengthened anti-LGBTQ measures in recent years, with supporters arguing they protect cultural and religious values, while rights groups warn they increase discrimination and erode fundamental freedoms. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Zimbabwe's parliament is considering a controversial constitutional amendment bill that would extend President Emmerson Mnangagwa's term by 2 years to 2030. It would also do away with general presidential elections, giving Parliament the power to appoint the head of state. Several legal challenges seeking to stop or invalidate the amendment process are currently before Zimbabwe's courts.
Zimbabwe's government introduced a bill to parliament that would extend President Emmerson Mnangagwa's term by 2 years to 2030, despite criticism from a fractured opposition and some veterans of the country's liberation war. The draft legislation was debated at a second reading in parliament.
And what our population has done in demonstrating where it stands in support of President E.D. Mnangagwa to continue to 2030 is an affirmation of the fact that the party is strong, that is, it has got the support of the people, and that the leader of the party, who has done so well, is enjoying near universal, if over universal support from the population of Zimbabwe.
83-year-old Mnangagwa is meant to step down in 2028 after serving 2 5-year stints as the head of state. But his supporters want to change the constitution to extend presidential terms from 5 years to 7. They also want presidents to be elected by parliament rather than by direct popular vote. Justice Minister Ziambi introduced the bill in the lower house of parliament.
The fundamental nature of the change that they're introducing, you are lengthening a term of the president. Not only that, you are also saying that the president from now on will not be elected by the people. That would require a referendum.
Political analysts expect it to sail through, as Mnangagwa's ZANU-PF party has a 2/3 majority in the lower house and also overwhelmingly controls the upper house through traditional leaders and other proxies who generally vote with it, giving it the numbers to change the constitution. Ziambi has said previously that he expects the legislative process will take about a month.
I think that those who are pushing for these amendments, these are popular people who have not been elected, Ziambi for instance, and people that have been benefiting because of their proximity to President Mnangagwa. So they don't care about the future of the country, they don't care about the respect of the constitution, but what they care about is the economic benefits that comes with the elongation of President Mnangagwa's term.
ZANU-PF has ruled Zimbabwe since independence from Britain in 1980, first under longtime leader Robert Mugabe and then Mnangagwa, who took over after a 2017 coup. A group of retired generals and former civil servants publicly voiced their opposition to the bill that would extend Mnangagwa's time in power. They said they had met with Mnangagwa last month to voice their concerns, but he told them whoever wins, wins, referring to whether the bill would pass.
A president should not rule for a long time, and it is preferable to serve for a short term and give others a chance. It's not normal for a president to serve for like 40 years when we are in a crisis.
Some war veterans and activists also challenged the bill in the Constitutional Court, which reserved judgment while it considers their arguments. Africa Bureau, WION. World is One.
Cape Verde are the only African newcomer in this year's World Cup. And with a population of about 600,000 people, they are the third smallest nation to qualify in the tournament's long history. But with a squad drawn from the island nation's large diaspora, they have been competitive for more than a decade, and their progress to the finals is less of a fairy tale than a portrait.
For the first time in history, the tiny volcanic archipelago of just 525,000 people, one of the smallest countries in the world, has qualified for the World Cup. The mood was exuberant on a recent morning in late May at the Bola Prafente Forward Soccer School, where students honed their skills. Their dribbles, feints, belly flops and goals were greeted with cheers as shouts such as "just pass the ball" echoed about and youthful faces glistened with sweat.
We are an example of giving hope to smaller countries too, because if we can achieve it, they can achieve it too with organization. If there is a goal, they can achieve it as well. We do this. We are proof that a goal can be great, but a small country can achieve it.
Football academies have proliferated across the archipelago in recent years, and enrollment has increased ever since the Blue Sharks qualified. Among these schools is the renowned Escola de Preparação Integral de Futebol, or the EPIF, which has also produced several of the World Cup squad players. The EPIF aims to integrate students from across Cape Verde, including its poorer neighborhoods, he explained.
Here in Cape Verde, football is everything. It helps us a lot in our daily lives. Football here is like cachupa for us. It's wonderful. Everyone here loves football. It is in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. That's how it is. Cape Verde is football.
It was an emotion I cannot put into words. It was an incredible feeling. My grandparents and my parents never saw the national team qualify, and now we are living this moment and the joy is indescribable.
Cape Verde play European champions Spain in their first match on June 15, followed by two-time World Cup winners Uruguay on June 22nd, and round off their group stage campaign against Saudi Arabia on June 27th. Captain Ryan Mendes, who has been with the team for nearly 16 years, said he has always dreamed of this moment.
I hope this qualification and this World Cup participation will open doors for many young people, and that people from outside will also be able to come here, take the time to visit, and see that there is a great deal of talent in this country.
The Blue Sharks have benefited from greater media coverage in recent years. Young people no longer only focus on Argentinian superstar Lionel Messi or European football, but also players from their own national teams.
At the World Cup, Cape Verde will be like one of the big nations, like France, like Argentina, because there are no small teams, there are no big teams. We are at a certain level, and when Cape Verde qualified, the country became better known, it became greater. This country is small, but the dream is big, the ambition is big.
As is often the case in the evenings, on weekends and on holidays, Gamboa Beach in Praia was packed with players making do with whatever equipment they could find in bare feet and with tires marking the goal line. They all hope and pray that their dream eventually rewards them at football's biggest event. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
We wish Cape Verde all the very best. Thank you, Africa, for watching the show this week. Get in touch with us on our website and all our social media platforms and share your stories with us. We would love to highlight and hear from you and highlight your story to the world. This is WION The World is One, and I'm Eric Njoka. Goodbye.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. Around 169 buildings have been totally reduced to rubble. Every time there's a warning, they just come to this public area where there are around 200 tents, and they reside for a while, and then they go back to their home. Some of the Lebanese people enjoying their time, celebrating, singing, dancing, and some others forcibly displaced. From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION The World is One.
It's turned out to be the most successful World Cup from the standpoint of what's happening.
The FIFA World Cup is being co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico and kicks off on June 11th. For the first time in history, the tournament expands to 48 teams playing a record 104 matches.
Get all the updates from the 2026 FIFA World Cup only on WION.
Where darkness hides behind every corner.
where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at wion.com.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. Get the latest updates. Breaking news.